Sage is crushing a twisted tea.
I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm trying to get rid of it.
He's
Sorry,
crushing a Kool-Aid pre-show drink.
Got tattooed, so it's like
Fresh tap.
fresh tap.
Right before he plays tonight.
And then right after I play.
You're going to go get another one after, right?
Yeah.
SJC logo. He's going to get the SJC logo.
So this looks like the Powell Peralta logo?
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
I was like, okay, that's pretty sick. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually getting SJC down my throat. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks in the mail for that one.
Right, gotcha. Thank you guys for being here, man.
Yeah, no worries. We're here with Sage. Point North is on the road right now.
Hello.
They're playing a sick show. Been on the road for a little bit now, right?
I think this is like week 3 of 7.
Cool.
Like it's
crazy.
It's we get done end of June and we left. I want to say like end of April.
Yeah.
It's a long run, but it's gonna be a long year. But,
yeah.
So
who are the flowers for?
I don't know. I did. They kind of just show up. I think it was like every show we have people who would like make us food. Like the other day we had brownies.
That's awesome. So a fan sent those?
Yeah.
Amazing, dude. That's awesome.
It's very sweet. It wasn't directed to anyone.
They just showed up.
It said "Go Browns." Oh. Actually, I know what this is for. It gets a little dark. So Andy, our guitar player at Point North, his dad passed away.
Oh, dude, I saw that.
A year ago today.
Oh, man.
His favorite team was the Browns, so that's for his dad.
That's very nice.
Yeah,
so dude, you guys got some crazy supportive fans then, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. It's
amazing.
It's insane. And, like, people just, like, every night, kids are just showing up and, like, more than ever than before. And I think you really kind of know it when you do festivals. We just did Welcome to Rockville, and we were on the main stage with Motley Crue, and it was, like, we played at, like, 1:30 or something, and there was, like, 15,000 people there. And then the walkout was insane. And, like, and we do Sonic Temple on Friday. If you're watching this, it's like 2 days from now. And it's like our stage, it's like us, Nonpoint, and Anthrax, and then like the original Misfits headline.
Oh my gosh.
So it's so cool. Like Rise Against is playing, so it's like the coolest
awesome,
thing,
dude.
man.
Yeah, you guys will crush it, man.
Thanks, man.
So you got a new kit on this tour?
Yes, I do.
New kit. It's been a bit.
I do.
And your space flooded.
It did flood. Yeah.
So brand new kit, brand new gear.
I'm traumatized now. Like I don't want to take it anywhere because it went straight from boxes to rehearsal to the vault that I have now. So it's like I'm like, oh man, like I need to find a safe. I might have it put in like the studio or whatever, you know. So it's the kit is so nice. It's been the talk of kind of the tour because everyone's like, even Maddie from Ashes to New and Chris from Elijah and Bronx and so many family guys on this tour, they're like, that kid's insane. All the venue crew guys are like, that looks so good.
That's
it's
awesome.
like, I always tell people it's like if you take Ringo Starr and put him modernized, like that's kind of what it'd be like, the 2 floor toms, and it sounds incredible every night. I think I'm very lucky to have Josh, my tech, out with me, and he's just like, it's so easy to work with. You know what I mean? And like because the kit was kind of like a playground for him, and he was like, I just can't wait to like put these heads on it. And like, sure, whatever. And every night it sounds great, you know. So it sounds absolutely insane. I have the hammered brass snare out with us now too, which I use in like every night. It sounds so good. In my ears, in front of house, like it's incredible. So.
Amazing. So was that the vibe when you designed the kit, the 60s Oyster, like a Ringo Starr vibe, or were you going off of something else? It's obviously got that vintage aesthetic, but with the mini tubes and how you did everything on it, just looks really modern.
It was multiple things. So the Ringo Starr look, obviously, and if you look at the kit, it's kind of got like a ripped Beatles logo on it because we just kind of played into it. But I think the coolest part was like, we decided it was a mix of the Ringo Starr, and actually my tech Josh has a Oyster kit that I love so much, and I was like, well, when it came time to design the wrap, I was like, I lost my acrylic kit, so I was like, do I go into acrylic? And then I was like, what's something I can use for everything, for every gig? And I think that kit was, I know it was the best option. And then I remember being like, I wanted the kit to feel like throwback but new. So we went with the square badges and then the tube lugs. And I remember I felt so, when I asked you, I was like, I hope this isn't a big deal. You're like, okay, done. And I'm like, oh, okay, that was way easier than I expected it to be. So
well, we asked people, some people asked us if we can use the OG oval logo, and we've thought about bringing it back, and we might, and you've been with us for so long. I'm it's kind of just makes sense. Like we should just do it.
I'm just also like, it sucks because the kit I lost was the one that had the old lugs, and I was like, in the square badges, so it's like, it's kind of like when you have a dog and the dog unfortunately passes away, you get like a new dog, and it's like taking the place of the old one, and it's the perfect, like, it's the best SJC kit I've owned, 100%. Awesome. And it's the first SJC kit where even I've had where every show 4 or 5 people come up to me and they're like, this thing is insane. Who is this? Where'd you get this? You know? And
that's amazing.
And I think over time too, because I've gotten kits from you guys for years and just backline like around the world. And I think the thing is the sound quality somehow always gets like better, because like I can hear it in my ears. And Telefunken was so nice to send out a mic package to me, and just the SJC with the Telefunken, it's just like, it sounds like an album, like in your
That's
ears
awesome.
and in front of house. So it's incredible, and you'll see it tonight. Like it's insane.
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna film some stuff, so check out these drum cams.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you always post great content, and obviously
Yeah.
you got a great team out here working with you, Josh, teching your stuff, and
Yeah.
people doing the media and stuff. But I'm excited for these guys to get their cameras on you, and we're gonna get an out from the board, and it's gonna be sick.
Hopefully I warm up and loosen up beforehand.
Well, you got a fresh tattoo, man.
I
Your
do.
right foot might be a little bit lagging.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I think
Just
John, our singer's getting his elbow tattooed right now.
I heard, dude.
So it's like the whole
Yeah.
I can't even. Yeah.
Getting tattooed on the road is definitely an interesting decision.
It's
to make,
nice
for
because
sure.
it's like I think of it like a passport. You know what I'm saying? Like I got this and blah 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 and wherever,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm running out of space, so my legs are just the most bare area.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, cool, it's time to do it. And the legs, they don't feel too good. I realize
don't
why.
feel good, man, yeah.
Yeah, why I didn't get them for so
Especially
long.
as we get older, man.
I know. I'm not 19 anymore.
Yeah.
Getting tattooed, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, now I'm like biting the chair.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, moving away from the tattoo topic, but like you talk about the drums getting better, like we always try to hone our craft, obviously.
Oh,
like
of course.
every
Yeah,
day
yeah.
these guys building more and more drums. We're trying to get better at cutting bearing edges, get better at wrapping and doing the seams, and like, I feel like our crew's been incredible at it for a while, but like we're the best we've ever been, like making stuff. And so like banging out kits like that with a simple build where it's just a nice wrap.
Yeah.
You're not going crazy on it. You're not getting anything. You're not getting an Acorn kit like A Day to Remember did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just it's a simple build, so that makes me feel really good, and I'm sure the guys back home watching this are stoked.
I mean, and the thing is too, to piggyback off that, the only thing that shows that is time.
Yeah.
I think when you have the sound quality that you guys do and the craftsmanship, I mean, like, I always joke with people, like, I never want this to happen, but like, if I could drop a rack tom off of like a bridge and it would still sound great. Like, I think I've gotten kits from all over the world as backline that I've pulled out straight out of the case.
Yeah.
And it sounds just like show ready. And
That's
it's
awesome.
just like, the only thing you can do is to prove that it's just over time.
Yeah.
And as you learn knowledge, and you guys are also a company too where it shows that as you gain knowledge about certain things and you apply that and you kind of pick this works and this doesn't, I find that it's always like, it always works out in the best way, and over time it just sounds somehow better. I don't know how it gets better, but it always sounds like my second floor tom sounds like a second kick drum.
That's awesome.
It's
I love
so
that.
cool, and like it just shows like the attention to detail over time continuously for years. And I think that's like the coolest part. So
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Well, I
man.
appreciate it. We definitely, everybody back home at the shop is super passionate about their craft, and
yeah.
building new drums is definitely a highlight for us, watching what you do. I mean, you
Dude.
play with so many different artists. What's your favorite part of being in the music scene? Like, obviously, you're here on tour right now, sleeping in a bus, playing in front of a bunch of people. You also do a bunch of fly-ins, you do a bunch of studio work. Like,
Right.
sure, you enjoy all of it because you do it. What's your favorite part? Or, like, is there a balance that you enjoy from all of those things?
I just think it's like a couple things. I think the one thing is finding new ways to keep it fresh. I started touring when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And last year I was on the road for like 200 days, and I feel like I saw every part of the world twice. So I think keeping it like fresh is huge, and then also like for me it's just working with new artists, and I'll tell you a bunch of cool stuff later, but like there's so many things that come up and so many scenarios that I haven't experienced yet.
Yeah.
You could think you kind of experienced it all, and then you get to a point where you're like, wow, like this is something new.
Yeah,
And I love it, and I think it's so cool, and I think just traveling over time in every city, I try to have a new experience and a new adventure, whether I'm playing the same venue or a new one, and meeting new people every time. Whether I feel like I play with so many bands that I meet so many different crew members and different band members, and just hearing people's stories. I love hearing stories, and I love learning from people, and I think it's a huge thing where it's like when you learn from people in a setting where you're all collaborating on one thing, it's the most like beautiful thing, and that's what keeps it exciting and keeps it like, that's what I look forward to for the most part. If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
100%,
Yeah,
dude,
for
that's
sure.
amazing. Your new kit, going back to that, talking about like refining process. Like we've tried to really refine how we even design the drums, right? What did that feel like for you? Because we did a bunch of mock-ups back and forth to hone it in and get it there, which we didn't do before. Like anytime anybody ordered drums from us years ago,
this is it.
They were like, yeah, I want this, this, and this, and we're like, cool, got you. And like we'd write down the specs and like we wouldn't cross our fingers that it would work. We obviously had experience in doing it, but we've tried to refine even just the mock-up process to visually see it. Did that feel any different for you, like the second time around?
Of course. It was just, I think the biggest thing with the process of that kit was like, because you were hitting me up, you were like, what, you got any ideas? You were so excited for me to send you ideas, and I was like, I really have to think about this, because I never sat and thought about it. And then I just had like a come to Jesus moment, and I did, and I was like, Oyster kit, 2 floor toms, these sizes, and I remember I sent you a notes app of like everything, and I was like, I hope nothing's too much, and you were like, cool, done. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that was so easy. Like, awesome. It's just even the second mock-up, and on the mock-ups you were sending, I got more and more excited because I was like, oh, like this is really becoming a reality, and it was so cool throughout the process of you guys working with me and building the kit to see it come to life. Yeah. I think that was the coolest part, and it was like, you guys were so on top of it to the point where it was like, oh, I'm just like, it was just building anticipation for it. And I thought it was so cool, and you knocked out the park more than I ever could. I remember I went to center staging to get it, and I was just like, the guy who was holding the drums for me, I was like, oh, I'm picking up this kit, and he was like, oh, dude, yeah, like he was stoked, and I was like, okay, like no one had seen it, and I pulled out in the parking lot right next to my car at like 9 a.m. And I was just like, because I was going to rehearsal, I was like, cool, like it came just in time, and I was like, I'm so excited. And then Josh and I just geeked out for it forever at the first day of rehearsal, setting it up.
That's awesome.
And we were just like, this is so, and he is just like such a like gearhead, and he was like, oh, we could do this and blah blah blah, and I was like, hey, more power to you, you know, like
that's awesome.
It was the process was like better than I ever could have expected. I've never worked with a company, especially when it comes to like the communication aspect of it, and I've been working with you guys for a long time, and it was just so cool to see that like you guys treat everyone so like with so much respect and such an honorable high regard that I think it's really cool as you go about a process how that comes about. So,
that's awesome. Well, thank you, man. That's super cool.
Josh, oh, come here, hold on.
Speaking of the drums,
come here, Josh, come here.
The drums were not tuned well last night. I heard online.
Everyone, through the cameras, this is my lovely drum tech, Josh.
Here, let's make room for Josh.
Yes. Josh, no,
Josh, how can you hear him, or he doesn't have a mic, or do you think should I just?
No, don't do this to me. No.
How's it tuning this kit, Josh?
It's so fun. It's good. Yeah, the kit's killer. It's sounds great. I can't complain. He likes his kit tuned really low, so it's not that hard to tune, and it sounds fat. So you guys did a great job. Fat with PH, indeed. Yeah. So that's it.
That's awesome. Do you know me and Josh go way back?
I think so.
Yeah. He used to do videos.
Oh, that's right. How I met you guys. That's right.
Work for this guy. He used to be my boss for like 3 years.
That's crazy.
Back in like 2017.
During the crazy times of SJC.
Yeah. I met him at NAMM. Yeah, I met him at
NAMM.
Yes, I did.
You came to NAMM with us, right? Or were you
twice,
just there?
Twice. Yeah. I did twice.
And Sweetwater Sweetwater Gear Fest, all that. Yeah,
that's how I met this dude.
Yeah, that's literally how we met. That's
really
that's
through SJC.
Yeah, because
that's how he's now my boss.
That's so crazy, dude.
Josh fucking kills it every night.
And he's an okay drummer. Yeah,
no,
he's okay.
I was gonna say my favorite part of the night is when he line checks the drums before we go on, and he just like does the craziest shit.
You're
and I'm like
shredder.
And I'm like, no, I gotta go up and play. You know? I'm like, it's not good. He's like, yeah. And just like walks away. I'm like, dude.
You crush, dude.
Thanks, man. This is the guy that crushes.
Nah, man.
I'm stoked to watch him play every night. Seriously, it's so fun.
It is so fun.
It makes my drums sound great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, make sure he's doing okay.
So you guys both sitting here, cool. Like, you're a drummer as well, and you're in the industry. You're doing your thing. You're also teching out here, hustling, which I respect a ton. You've been there and done a ton of things in the music world, and you've recorded, you've toured, like we were talking about earlier, doing one-offs. Tips and tricks for the next generation of drummers or musicians that want to hear how you guys got to where you are, right? Like, how are you here? You met through SJC at a trade show. Not everybody can have that, right? Like, not everybody's at a trade show. We don't even go to trade shows anymore.
Yeah.
How do you get in a position like that? Like, how did you guys get here, and how do you maintain? Like, anything come to mind that young kids might take from this video and, you know, be like, all right, cool, I'm going to go try and do that?
Super King. No,
oh man,
it's you. You're first.
I don't know, man.
You're top of the top right now.
I think that it's about meeting people, being nice. You don't be surprised. Like you'd be so surprised how far being nice is.
Yeah.
And practice your butt off. When I was in college, I was playing like 11 hours a day. I used to leave. This is funny, Mom. I'm sorry. I used to leave parties in college at 3 a.m. to go practice until 8 a.m.
Oh, because at least you left at 3, Mom.
That's true. I did leave at 3. I would stumble my way to Musicians Institute and go, and I just would practice my butt off. And every tour I did, coming up and whatever it was, I was the type of person where I would make friends with everyone, be so nice and follow them on Instagram or talk to them or just show love and support. And I think that went so far.
Yeah.
And I think also too, like, the biggest thing for me was just practicing and just being reliable. I always tell people, like, I don't want to be the best drummer in the world. I want to be the most reliable drummer in the world. And
that's definitely gotten you a lot of gigs, I'm sure. Because, like, you just fly in and are like, he's got it.
Yeah, sometimes. No, sometimes I do. But no, it's
no way.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Just being reliable. And I think I always tell myself, like, what if people are always like, what, this could go wrong, and I'm like, what if it just goes right? What if everything goes right and it just happens and you do the show? And I've learned also, like, the crowd's not going to know a 32nd note from a 16th note. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care, and just make people happy, make people smile, and just be nice and hone your craft. That's my advice.
That's awesome.
I want to hear yours.
I don't know. Just being a genuine dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, just being part of the community and, like, really being a part of the community.
Yeah.
And not just being in it just so you can, like, get gigs, you know? Like, just really enjoying people around you, playing music, and, like, just being part of this life.
Yeah.
And because if you don't, it's going to be hard, and it's going to show that you're really just trying to be here for a job, you know? And I've been loving drums since I was a kid, and so that hasn't stopped since I was a kid. So I'm just going to keep that going and keep that fire going until I can. And then, just being reliable and being just a trustworthy dude and someone that people can count on. And just literally being the backbone for a band.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Of a crew, whatever that is. So as long as you keep that going, I think it's good shape.
Awesome. Piggybacking off what you said too, it's so cool, like, when you're, like, in it, to, like, geek out with other drummers about other drummers. You're like, this drum? Like,
that's
so cool. That's the best part. Where you're like,
do other instruments have that, or is it just drums? Because I feel like the drum community, we are a lot tighter. No matter what gear you play, no matter what type of music you play, like, I feel like drummers always just like, oh, I know him. That person's rad, or that drummer's dope. Like, I know her.
Oh,
it's a community, I think, unlike any other.
It's so much love. Yeah. I feel like it's so much love, because I tell people all the time, because drummers are like, I want to, be the best. And I was like, you're not going to be the best. Just be the best at you. And I always say, like, there's so many gigs in this world. There's so many artists, new drummers. There's so many bands. Like, there's room for everyone. I feel like I noticed this too. It's like when drummers are like, Josh is true, where it's like you guys come in, they're just like, oh, it's work. Like, everyone get out of my way. It's like, that's not the way to go about it. And you're just being like a hater. And I think that's, like, not cool. And I love, like, him and I all the time are like, he's like, do you know this guy? I'm like, oh yeah, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we love it. Like, it's so cool. And there's so much respect. And then, like, we were at Rockville, and Tommy Lee, Motley Crue was playing, and I was so stoked that Tommy Lee was there. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And, like, that's, like, to piggyback off that, like, it's a huge thing. Like, being part of the community is, like, a real thing. So.
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah. You have the coolest tattoos. I'm just like, I remember looking at your tattoos when you worked at SJC.
No, but you got, like, art. You got art. I got stickers.
You got the cool.
I got stickers. You got art.
I was when I met you. Or you got one of these. I remember when you went home. I had maybe
like this only. And then,
wow.
Yeah, and you got, like, something down in. You drove down to, like, Jersey or something. I remember. What the heck was that, right?
Yeah, Jersey.
And you're like, I'm going there for the weekend. You came back. I was like, that is so sick. I was kind of bummed that I had full sleeves already.
I'm sorry. I look like a coloring book. He's got art. He's a museum. I am a kid's carpet. A kindergarten carpet. That's what I look like right now.
That's awesome.
But it looks good.
That's good.
Yeah, like a kid's carpet.
Yeah, you're leaving, like, they're starting to phase. You can color them in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got more coming in.
Hell
This one, yeah.
We'll stick to it.
Well, this looks like a sticker because there's red outlined around it.
Yeah.
Which is not fun.
And it's got blood.
Yeah, it's true. It's hard, you know what I mean? So yeah, your tattoos are sick. I remember the first time I saw him again since the last time I saw him. You were just inked up, and I was like, you look so cool right now. I was
so
like,
cool.
He looks.
Stop it, guys.
Josh looks like the drummer of a Headliner Road tour.
He does,
He does. No, straight up.
And he plays like.
He does too. Yeah.
We just said we were gonna do this when you come on the boat.
Yeah, it's great.
I was like literally debating if I wanted to come on.
You're
I knew this was happening.
Hell yeah.
Can't not drag you in.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, dude, that was great. Thank you guys so much for hanging,
man.
and thanks for taking care of the drums on the road, and thanks for playing them, dude. You guys rule.
He was with me the first time I actually sat down with him. Because I remember we set up in rehearsals, and everyone was like, oh, like, let's check these out, like, blah, blah, blah. Our tour manager, Mike, was like, he's a drummer too, and I remember we left rehearsal, and like, he played his whole band set on him after everyone left, and he's like, oh, it's great, you know. So.
Nothing like new drums, man.
They were fresh. They were fresh when we got them. Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a good combo. You get that and the Alpha Brass, and I'm stoked to see you crushing them tonight, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be sweaty, and it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Stoked to see you play. Thanks for repping the drums, taking care of the drums, and
yeah, dude.
Let's go.
Sick.